Griff's men's soccer picks up its first conference win Wednesday against Ryder. Meanwhile, Griff's hockey returns to the ice at First Niagara Center, taking on Toronto in an exhibition matchup and starting their season on Friday versus Western Michigan. Welcome back to #Griff Sports. I'm Kyle Ferrara. He's Joe Rutigliano.
And as promised, we'll get you ready to go for the Ice Griff's regular season opener against Western Michigan on Friday. But first, let's talk some soccer.
Sure, the Griff's men's soccer team took on Ryder on Wednesday night, and right now we're going to give you a look at what led up to that game for the Griffs with the debut of a men's soccer documentary taking flight at the beginning of a season.
The 2014 Canisius men's soccer season started like so many seasons before, with welcome back handshakes, team meetings, and headshots.
Oh, Mo is okay.
Mo's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good one.
For this year's edition of the Golden Griffins and the program's 7-member senior class, the goal is simple: win the MAC championship.
Ready? Alright, let's get snarling photo first. Come on. Snarl. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, classic. Absolutely classic.
I'm Dermot McGrain. I am the head men's soccer coach at Canisius College.
Okay, my name is Andrew Coughlin. I'm number 0. I'm a goalkeeper, and I'm a redshirt junior.
Originally, I'm from Leicester in England. The institution I was at before here was Niagara University. Coached there for 9 years. Obviously knew a little bit about the Canisius program, with us being such rivals.
I'm from Baldwinsville, New York, born and raised, lived there my whole life. Went to Syracuse originally, and then in the spring, January last year, came here, met with Coach, decided that this was a place where I thought I could get the best out of my college career.
When I got on campus, I didn't really know what to expect. I'm so used to Canisius being a rival of mine. It's a little different than to actually be a member of the staff. What I've found so far about this school, the students are excited to be students at Canisius. They have a lot of school pride. You get that everywhere you go. When you walk around campus, most people are wearing, or the majority of people are wearing Canisius and Griffin gear. Other campuses I've been on, they're wearing Ohio State, or Penn State, or Syracuse. Not here.
Canisius returned 14 letter winners and 7 starters from last year's team. Expectations within the program for the 2014 season were high, but those expectations are not shared by everyone. The Griffs were selected to finish 7th in the MAC preseason coaches poll, and no Canisius player earned preseason All-MAC honors.
Make sure, get rested tonight, plenty of water down you all day. Right? It's a tough stretch of games here. 3 games, 6 days. Right, we've got to be prepared, we've got to look after ourselves. Right? We've got to take each game one at a time. So don't think about the rest of them. We'll worry about that and manage our players and that kind of stuff.
Bring it in, boys. Come on, bring it in.
Come on, boys.
Hey, it was a slow start today at training. It's got to be better than that, all right? We got to show up tomorrow. We got to be ready to play. All right? Here we go. Family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family!
I mean, one of the main reasons I wanted to coach here was I just believed I could be more successful.
Well, to be 100% honest, I really wasn't looking at Canisius because I didn't know much about the program. At Syracuse, we had played them in my freshman year, and they were a decent team, but, you know, I didn't really know much about them. They were a small school.
You know, our staff is unbelievably teamwork oriented, you know. They're not worried that you're going to steal an idea. They want to share their ideas. So, you know, when you go to somebody who's been here a couple of years and say, oh, you know, how do you guys do this? Oh, they're immediately just going to give you everything. So it's a great learning environment, you know, for a coach. You know, everyone just wants you to be successful.
My dad actually works with a guy who used to play for Coach Dermott over at Niagara, and said, you know, have him give him a call, see what he has to say at least.
You know, when I came in, Canisius had won 3 games the previous year. Never had a winning record in the history of the program. And were ranked, I think, 3rd from last in the RPI. So it was obviously a big rebuilding task.
You know, I scheduled a meeting with him, came here, saw the campus, sat down with him, and, you know, right then I had a feeling. I had already visited another school, but I had a feeling like Canisius was the best opportunity, and I knew I was going to go.
After the Griffs opened the season with a pair of tough losses in a tournament at Ohio State, the team ripped off 4 straight victories, with 3 of those coming at home. That set up a rivalry game against St. Bonaventure on homecoming weekend and a chance for a record-setting 5th straight win.
This is a team who's not scored a goal in the regular season. All right? Only played 3 games. They've lost all 3 and they have not scored. If we allow them an early goal, it's going to give them hope. All right? We know we're going to get chances to score. All right? Don't care if it's like the last game where it comes in the last 10 minutes of the game. We will score. Do not let them get on the board. Okay? Just make sure with the chances that we get today, can we be composed? We've done a lot of finishing this week. Be composed, find the target, hit the net. We've got to keep the tempo up, work rate up, right? Force them to work harder than they want to, okay? And the last thing is home field again, okay? Let's keep our record as it is at home. Let's go out, again, show who we are.
Come on, high five! Come on, yeah. Go, boys. Go, boys. Big day.
Boys!
Derek Meyer's goal in the game's 62nd minute put the Griffs up 2-0, but 2 late goals by the Bonnies sent the game into overtime. In overtime, Canisius freshman Lucian Prize banged home the game winner 3 minutes and 34 seconds into OT to give the Blue and Gold their school record 5-game winning streak.
been great to see is I brought in a big freshman class my first year. So to watch them now as seniors and see the maturity and the development they've had over the course of the 4 years is amazing for me.
I think maybe about a month or two in, Coach sat me down and said, you know, I've been talking with the guys, and I think, you know, you have a great ability to lead, and, you know, you're a vocal player, and, you know, you put in the work. And he said, I don't know how it's going to be yet, but he asked me if I would be interested in being a captain or anything like that, and I said 100%. You know, I'd love to, you know, be a leader on this team and try to get these guys to where they need to be.
Each year, our recruiting classes just continue to get better. The talent level on our team is tremendous right now.
As soon as we got together as a group and started training, we saw that we could do something special, and that we just need to get everybody going in the right direction, and as long as we could do that, this team is definitely going places.
The soccer program is nothing similar to the one I inherited. You know, I think the team GPA when I got here was a 2.4. Last year we were over a 3.1. You know, everything's in the right way. We've got the right type of player, we've got the right talent level, and it's going to continue to improve.
Yeah, well, we sat down at the beginning of the season and we discussed our goals, and basically we want to be MAC champs. Obviously, that's the goal for every team here, and if it's not, there's something wrong. But this is a year that we actually believe that this is within reach, and obviously building upon that, if we can win the MAC tournament, that gives us an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, a place where Canisius soccer's never been. And, you know, we could really set a standard for Canisius soccer going forward, and we think this is the team to do it.
I hope you have the same confidence as I do in how we play. We've done well in the out-conference. Right now, we're sitting top of our league. We're riding a 6-game unbeaten streak, which is great. We're playing the way I want us to play. What this does for us, though, is now we have got a massive target on our back. Right? I mean, for our first conference games, do you think people are more worried about playing us or playing St. Peter's, who's 1-6? Right? Obviously, people are going to now raise their game to play us. We've become a team to beat. But you know what, man? Honest, good. We need to be ready for it. They will try and probably get a lot of people out to the game, and they will be worried about playing us. Guys, we beat them last year, right? And we're doing well this year. They are going to know, they're going to be worried about this. So we need to be ready for the challenge. Basically, we need to keep them off the board, same as always, first 45, get ourselves figured out, all right?
And after that win against St. Bonaventure, the Griffs' record-tying 5-game winning streak came to an end as they lost once and tied twice over their next 3 games, leading into Wednesday's matchup with Ryder, where they exploded for 4 goals. First from Derek Meyer is the 3rd of the season and the 3rd of his career, actually. And that would give the Griffs a 1-0 lead. And then right here you got Matthew Santos on a beautiful shot from 15 yards out with the ball in the back of the net. And then here Chris Berardi finishes up on the cross. That would be his first goal of the year, making it 3-1 Canisius. And finally, Asani Samuels knocks in his big goal here to cap off the scoring to make it 4-1 as Canisius picks up the big conference victory.
And what to watch for next for the Griffs. They're on the road at Iona on Saturday and at Siena next Wednesday. 2 tough conference matchups away from home for Canisius.
And coming up, Griffs hockey was back in action on Sunday in an exhibition versus the University of Toronto. Hockey analyst CJ Gates will be in studio to break it down for you
next. There was one day that we had just done the cardiovascular unit, in class that day. And then right after class, I went over to the Vascular Institute, volunteered, put the scrubs on. And one of the doctors asked me if I wanted to see an open heart surgery. And so I said, yeah, really? Sure.
I came into Canisius as obviously as a freshman, not really sure what I wanted to do. I ended up taking a digital media arts class, and that really just kind of jump-started, my career.
And I think being where we are in the city and in the world with the medical campus that we have here is really an opportunity that I wouldn't have anywhere else.
It's more than just academics. Meet different people. Go out and do things. There's so much more to college. It's an experience.
I instantly fell in love with doing video work, graphic design. I started pursuing more and more opportunities in the school, whether it was doing admissions videos on the sides. I did a couple videos for alumni relations, the president of the college, and then I actually got noticed last year, and they sent me over to the Philippines to create a feature-length documentary.
I lived with a host family while I took classes in Spanish with Spanish professors at the University of Oviedo, and I was a Spaniard for a semester, and it was the best decision I made as a college student.
Welcome back to #Griff Sports. I'm now joined by Griff's hockey analyst CJ Gates as we get set to take a look at this week's game of the week. The Ice Griffs return to regular season action with their home opener against Western Michigan. CJ, now let's take a look at Dave Smith's thoughts on the matchup.
We know what Western Michigan is. They've got an NHL experienced head coach. They have a terrific, well-coached team with starting on their goaltender is very good. So right now for us, we're still the most important team. We need to get our game tightened up in a whole bunch of areas and continue with the enthusiasm.
So CJ, you heard Coach Smith's thoughts, and so what can we expect from your perspective in the games this Friday and Saturday?
Well, they look good this weekend against Toronto in their exhibition game. Granted, it was an exhibition game, so you can't take too much away from it. But you've got the top line playing well. You've got Shane Conacher, Ralph Kademi, and Mitch McCrank all flowing well. They know where they are on the ice. Shane after the game said you could probably blindfold him and he'd be able to find out where the other two guys are. So that line's doing well. You've got a big group of senior leadership, 10 seniors. It's the second most in the nation. I think they're really gonna do well on Friday. I think they'll come out with a victory. Second game in the First Niagara Center as they move towards the Harbor Center.
Now, another thing, you talked about is, 10 seniors. A lot of kids this year came in with me, actually, a couple of years ago. But at the same time, they lost some key contributors. You lose goaltender Tony Capobianco, also Kyle Gibbons up front, and Ben Danford, a strong defender for the Griffs. So, how are the Griffs going to replace those guys?
It's their highest scoring forward in Kyle Gibbons, their highest scoring defender in Ben Danford, and their starting goalie. But if you look at what they have left, Keegan Asbinson in net. He started 11 games last year, looked really well, had good numbers. He was about 15th in all of college hockey in save percentage. He did a really good job there. And then you go onto the defense. They named Doug Jesse captain. You got Chris Rumble, who will be a year older and will probably chip in more offensively. And then if you look at the forwards, they've got a big group of seniors, as we mentioned. They got guys like Tyler Wiseman, who looked to step up this year. He said he wants to play at a point per game, which would be huge for them. He's got speed. You've got Braden Rigney. Guys like that could step up in the top line, like I mentioned to start with. Looks good for the Griffs this season.
It does, and something that you've been looking forward to all year long here is the Griffs finally getting back into it. And I know Tyler Wiseman didn't play on Sunday against University of Toronto. I talked to him. He said he had some sort of abdomen issue. Hopefully, he is back. So we're gonna play a little game here. Hockey toss-up. I like this. I want to see where you go with this. So we're gonna go most goals for the season. Will it be Shane Conacher for the Griffs, or will it be the rest of the field?
Are we taking just one player from the rest of the field versus Shane Conacher? Is that how the game works? Or the total of the field?
I think that we'll take the rest of the team. So we'll say the total of the rest of the team.
The total of the rest of the team versus Shane Conacher. I'm going to have to go with the rest of the team. Okay. As talented as Shane Conacher is, I don't think he'll score that many goals. He'll definitely increase from last year. He missed the beginning of the season with a broken jaw. he missed some time. It took some time for him to get back into the swing of things while everyone else was kind of, in the mid-season groove. So I think a full season of him, it'll be definitely some high offensive numbers, but I'll go with the rest of the team there.
Yeah, I think that's might be a safe bet. The other thing I think with Shane Conacher is if you take a look, he does score. He puts up some solid numbers as far as goal scoring is concerned, but he also feeds his teammates really well. I think Ralph Kademi is a guy to watch there. So now, biggest loss for Canisius Athletics, Kyle Gibbons or Billy Barron. Now, both guys are gone. Both guys are playing professionally somewhere. Billy Barron in Lithuania. Kyle Gibbons right now playing in Idaho. What do you got?
I'm no basketball expert, but from everything that I've heard, the team won't be as good this year without Billy Barron. And I do think that the men's hockey team has the potential to be just as good as they were with Kyle Gibbons. I think basketball is a little different since, it's just one guy doing that kind of thing, and Kyle Gibbons was just one guy on a team of, 18 players. So I think it's a little different, but I do think, Billy Barron's the bigger loss there.
Yeah, and I think kind of the dynamic, I think you make a good point there between hockey and basketball. In basketball, the individuals relied upon a little bit more, whereas in hockey, you feed off of many different areas. That's not to say, however, that Kyle Gibbons is not a big loss for the Griffs, that they will have to fill his shoes. Now, more exciting opener. The Sabres play in just a few hours against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Is that going to be more exciting than the Canisius Western Michigan opener? Let's hear your thoughts.
In terms of fan turnout, the Sabres are probably going to fill the First Niagara Center. Canisius doesn't have the fan base to fill that, but if you're there with C Block making a lot of noise as you were against University of Toronto, I think it'll be an exciting time. And if you're looking for, success this season, I'd have to go Canisius over the Buffalo Sabres, who might be at the bottom of the NHL, unfortunately.
Well, you heard it here first. Well, maybe not first, but you heard it here. That's for sure. So coming up, the Ice Griffs scored 6 times on Sunday. Find out which of those was good enough to be our top play. Thank you very much, CJ. Stay right there.
No problem, Joe.
That's low. That's low and below. Look, he's blushing.
Welcome back to #Griff Sports one more time. And Joe, the news just broke earlier this week. Jim Wendling is stepping down as the head coach of the Griffs women's soccer program. He'll finish out the season, but Wendling coached the team to a combined record 56, 51, and 12 so far in his career. Here are his words to the entire community. Quote, I want to thank Canisius President John Hurley, Director of Athletics Bill Meyer, and Associate Athletic Director Tracy Murphy for 7 wonderful years that have been offered to me as the head women's soccer coach here at Canisius College. I have found that the athletic department at Canisius is made up of so many wonderful people. The coaches, student athletes, staff and administrators, and of course, all the women's soccer players here who have made this a great experience for me. I would personally like to thank all of the young ladies who I have had the opportunity to coach at Canisius for the last 7 years. The 4 winning seasons, the 4 trips to the MAC tournament, and the 2010 MAC regular season championship will go down as great highlights in my 19 years of college coaching. I know I will always be a Griff. St. Peter Canisius, pray for us.
Yeah, and it's a sad day. For me personally, being women's lacrosse team manager, I work just outside of Coach Wendling's office. He's a funny guy, always a smile on his face, except for following a loss, obviously. But I'm going to miss him. I've known him for a couple of years now, and hopefully the athletic department can find somebody to fill his role well. And bring some success for the women's soccer program. But Coach Wendling, I know all of us here at #Griff Sports will miss you. But now, on a lighter note, it is time for our Golden Performer of the Week, and it's Mitch McCrank. He had 2 goals and an assist in the exhibition victory on Sunday. The best hockey name in college sports, in my opinion. What a guy. First star on Sunday during the exhibition. So congrats to Mitch.
And our top play is also from that game. It's not going to be Mitch McCrank. Instead, it's going to be Cody Freeman, and you'll see it right here. Flicks it over the left shoulder of the Toronto goalkeeper, and we'll slow it down for you. So chill. Cody Freeman knocks it in as one of 6 goals in the contest. And the Griffs went on to win 6-3.
And other games to watch for this week coming up for the Griffs. Women's soccer and volleyball will also each square off against Iona on Saturday, and then both soccer teams match up against Siena on Wednesday. The women's soccer game against Siena will be at home on the Dembski Sports Complex at 4 o'clock next Wednesday. You'll be back from break. Go out, see the girls pick up a W. You know, last time to see Coach Wendling out there in Griffs gear hollering at the officials. So, you got to go.
That's right. Get out there and support them. And that's going to be all for us today. You can find us online, griffintv.net. Follow us on Twitter at GriffSports4.
And he's Kyle Ferrara. I'm Joe Rutigliano. Until next time, go Griffs.